Making the lives of Ukrainians unbearable is one of the main goals that the occupiers set for themselves back in 2022. As soon as they set foot on our land, they began to destroy the homes and normal way of life of Ukrainians. Hundreds of blown-up bridges, thousands of kilometers of bombed roads, and tens, if not hundreds of thousands of destroyed homes. This is all that the Russian world has brought to Ukraine.
It's all gone, there's no church left anymore.
And today the occupiers rarely resort to shelling of Ukraine, and Russian aviation no longer prowls our cities. The Russian Federation still does not abandon attempts to terrorize Ukrainians. For this purpose, in addition to Shaheds and cruise hypersonic missiles, Russia actively uses so-called KABs. Guided aerial bombs weighing from 500 kilograms to 3 tons, capable of destroying entire small settlements. However, the absolute superiority and impunity of the occupiers in the air will come to an end in 2024. After all, Ukraine now has its own KABs. And this means that there will be significantly more explosions on Russian territory and, more importantly, at the front in the enemy's trenches. KABs are a family of Soviet and Russian guided aerial bombs weighing 500 kilograms and more. The first of them were adopted into service back in 1975. The bomb's warhead can be concrete piercing for destroying concrete structures, high explosive and fuel air explosive for targeting infantry and equipment, including in shelters, using a shockwave. KABs are specifically designed to target stationary ground and surface, in particular, relatively small-sized durable targets such as reinforced concrete shelters, runways, railway and highway bridges, military industrial facilities, ships and transport vessels, and other similar structures. The guided adjustable aerial bomb is considered a high-precision weapon, even though at first glance it might not seem so. Essentially, it is a regular aerial bomb to which additional wings for control and a modern guidance system are attached.
A separate topic is the use of our unguided aerial bombs. And the production is somewhat like how it is established in the Russian Federation. That is, by high explosive aerial bombs are taken and equipped with appropriate devices that allow them to operate in a guided gliding mode, thereby increasing the accuracy of hitting the target.
So far, the Ukrainian military is using Western-produced guided bombs. However, even now our defenders are testing domestic developments in the field, while simultaneously continuing work on converting and creating Ukrainian guided aerial bombs based on regular free-falling ones.
In general, they fly from 60 to 80 kilometers. It all depends on physics, simple physics. It all depends on the volume, weight of the bomb itself, the drop height, and the drop speed. Additionally, weather conditions can also have an impact, headwind or tailwind.
With such characteristics, Ukrainian pilots can launch domestic guided bombs from behind the front line in relative safety for themselves. The same cannot be said for the occupiers, who are in for a meeting with the Ukrainian guided aerial bomb. Even Russian military analysts acknowledge this.
So if it is dropped, if it reaches its target, it doesn't even matter how precisely it hits a bunker or a long-term fortified position. The explosion can destroy quite a large area with a fairly large radius. If a large number of such bombs are dropped on a single area, well, then nothing will be left there.
And the occupiers have already experienced this firsthand.
If it manages to overcome the Russian air defense system, it's a guaranteed hit on the target.
Although little is known about the modern Ukrainian aerial bomb, experts suggest that it is equipped with satellite guidance equipment and a high explosive warhead. Operating on the drop-and-forget principle, the domestic cab autonomously guides itself to stationary ground and surface targets such as warehouses, military-industrial facilities, and ships at docks.
If this guidance module is accurate enough, it can be used to target pinpoint high-priority objectives. For example, a command post. On a command post that could be located 25 to 30 or even 50 kilometers away from the line, well, not even from the front line, but from the line that marks the enemy's air defense zone, right? So, without entering this zone, you can drop such a bomb that will travel several dozen kilometers. If it's accurate, it can destroy a command post or an ammunition depot there. It can hit a barracks where personnel are located. It can cause a lot of damage to the enemy.
But what can the much-vaunted Russian air defense respond to all this? Essentially nothing. As the military themselves joke, the Kremlin's air defense system may cover, but it doesn't protect. Of course, after all, as it turns out, the occupiers are simply unable to track such weapons in the sky.
The bomb doesn't have an engine, so it doesn't have a heat trail or thermal radiation. And it's small in size, meaning its reflective surface is quite small.
In theory, the latest Russian S-500 Prometei anti-aircraft missile system is capable of tracking such a guided aerial bomb. The Kremlin, by the way, has already announced the first delivery of its unparalleled air defense system.
This year, the troops will receive the first samples of the next generation UNG's S-500 anti-aircraft missile system in 2 modifications: long-range anti-aircraft missile systems and missile defense systems.
But, as is well known, making bold statements in the Kremlin is not the same as moving bags. In words, the new generation of Russian anti-aircraft missile systems employs advanced operational principles. And as Putin assures, not even a mosquito will fly past the S-500 without permission. Nevertheless, in actual combat, the much-praised Russian equipment has yet to engage with Ukrainian developments. But as military analysts predict, this encounter will most likely be the last for the Kremlin's air defense.
So far, no means of countering these bombs have been devised. That is, they can probably be shot down with missiles, but then there's the cost-effectiveness ratio. This guided bomb might cost, I don't know, a couple of $100. So there you have it. There's your cost-effectiveness ratio, and you still have to hit it.
For more than a year in the war against Ukraine, Russia has been actively using guided aerial bombs to strike along the entire front line, as well as the border areas of the Sumy, Chernihiv and Kharkiv regions. In just 5 months of this year, the Russians have dropped nearly 10,000 guided bombs on Ukrainian territory. Now it seems the time for reckoning has come.
Putin cannot win the war in Ukraine. He has already lost this war.
And we will eagerly watch every subsequent blunder of the bloody dictator until our victory. We hope that the newly created Ukrainian guided bombs will also play their part in this. In the meantime, don't forget to like this video and share it with your friends, and please leave a comment on what other weapons you would like to hear about in future episodes. And of course, it wouldn't hurt to subscribe to our channel so you don't miss new episodes of Arsenal.